First of all, you don't know me.
We're all about that high school drama girl, all about them high school queens. We'll take you for a ride in our comic girl, drama girl, cheering for the right team. Drama queens, smart girl, rough girl, fashion but you're tough girl. You could sit with us, girl. Drama queens, drama queens, drama queens, drama queens, drama queens.
Oh, guys, happy week. I was about to say the day, and then I remember that these don't always drop
Happy
on the
Sunday.
days we're recording. There you go.
Happy late Sunday night, everyone.
That's the one.
We're so glad you couldn't sleep and you could be here to join us.
Exactly.
Hey, Soph. Hey, Joy.
Hi, guys.
How goes it?
The episode can wait. I want to know how my friends are doing.
Aww. I'm good. How are you?
Still in Soph on that fun combination of overly tired and overly caffeinated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
And I was telling Rob that as absolutely in love with the planet as I am, and so happy it's spring and everything is like gorgeous and green, I'm also allergic to everything.
Oh, no.
So I am just like likewise caffeinating to get through how terrible I feel.
My daughter is allergic to every flower except, I think, roses, and that might be the only one. Maybe daisies. I'm not sure, but it's so sad. Yeah. I'm like bringing wildflowers home, and she immediately just, Mom, you got to get that out of the house. I can't breathe. Like, oh no, it's so sad.
That's an expensive allergy. That the only one that doesn't make her sick is arguably one of the most expensive. It's like, I'm only not allergic to orchids and roses.
I know. It's such a highbrow allergy.
Yeah.
Do you guys take bee pollen or propolis or anything? Because I do, and I don't have any allergies. You don't take this on a regular basis. So if you've got bees,
I was going to say I do all of it because I've been beekeeping forever.
Yeah.
But
of course you have.
You know, I know, what a crazy thing, right? But it is actually sort of interesting because for years I was like, yeah, local honey totally helps with allergies and da-da-da-da.
yeah.
And a doctor friend of mine was like, you know, that's really charming, but not true. And I was like, oh, well, I really like the old wives' tale of it all, and I'm just going to keep it up.
You're like, are you a doctor of honey? No, so shut up.
I'm like, well, what you're not is a bee. So who knows?
Yeah.
But, you know,
Why
we
would
get
that not
through.
be true? That makes total sense, though.
Well, sure, but they were like, essentially what I thought was, you know, you're getting trace amounts of the flora and fauna around you in the honey. And they were like, no, it's a completely processed thing that comes out on the other side of a bee.
Oh, yeah, the honey doesn't. The pollen will.
Well, right. But the pollen is what most people are allergic to, which is why when they give you an allergy shot, like at the doctor, when you get that little tiny 1-dot dose, kind of like a TB test, they give it to you once a week for, I don't know, a whole summer. And then you build up resistance because it gives your body like a small shock of the thing it doesn't like, rather than just fistfuls of pollen, which seem to be on every car in the tri-state area right now.
I think it's if you ingest the pollen, like I get local pollen in a jar and I take a little tiny teaspoon of it and I just take it every day, and propolis too. These little droplets, I take like 30 drops of propolis a day, and all my allergies this season in Tennessee, because usually I don't have many allergies, but here it gets really bad. I've been taking this for a year, and this year I've gotten 0
Oh, that's
allergies.
great. Well, propolis is actually really cool. We're just really getting nerdy on the bee stuff.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, welcome back to The Buzz, our weekly bee-only podcast.
Buzz. It's the, for our friends at home, it's actually the substance that bees make and essentially glue their hives shut with. But it's actually, it has antibiotic properties.
Massive.
And so it's really like you can make tea and stuff if you're coming down with something, and it's pretty great.
Yeah.
Antibacterial, I guess I should have said, not antibiotic.
Speaking of antibiotic properties, today we're discussing Season 8, Episode 17, The Smoker You Drink, The Player You Get. It aired March 1st, 2011. Synopsis reads, as Haley's due date approaches, she takes steps to ensure that all her friends and family will be ready when the time comes. Oh boy, does she. Brooke and Julian also prepare to begin a family, while Chuck turns to Chase for help with a problem. Directed by Les Butler, and it was written.
I
love
loved this episode so much.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I remember it being really fun to film too.
Yeah.
And just to keep the levity going feels so nice. I will say, you know, the way we ended last week's episode, not understanding the title of this one, and it was typed in the incorrect order, and then we got the right order, and it still makes no sense. The smoker you drink, the player you get. Did anybody, I'm really asking because I realized I definitely didn't. Did anybody remember to Google what the meaning of this song title is?
Nope.
Okay, great, cool. It'll continue.
And still
to be a
don't
mystery.
understand its relation to the episode.
I don't either. Because, by the way, the only drinking happens at the frat party. I don't know. Anyway, I don't get it. But here we are, guys. We've got bees. Apparently, someone is smoking somewhere. And, you know, as Rob said, 2011, what a blast from the past.
Seriously. I feel, we talked about this last episode, but I feel as though we've just hit this really fun stride.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it was just because the writer's room didn't know if this was going to be our last. So they were just like, let's just blow it out, giving everyone happy endings. And because the last handful of episodes have all been way lighter, way more fun and playful.
Yeah.
And this one was no exception.
I think they knew they weren't getting any new viewers. It's not like people were suddenly tuning in season 8 and being like, let me start this show. I don't think there was a lot of that happening. So I think they felt like there was a lot of space to just play.
I don't know. I mean, if I've learned anything about our show, it's that every year it finds a new audience. But I do think, you know, I remember having like a particularly special dinner with a couple of folks from the writer's room coming into the end of season 8. And it's like, you know, when you have that sort of sense memory, I remember 4 of us sitting at the bar at a restaurant and like how fun it was because you had to huddle together and kind of look like this down each side of the bar to have a conversation. And it was a cool thing because people were sharing stories and observations and things that even though we'd all been together for 8 years, they'd never really done before. You know, when something's going to end, you're like, God, I better make sure to say the last thing or share the last thought. And I don't know. I really do recall everyone being like, well, crazy that we got this season 7 and 8 together and crazy that we're going to be done. And like everyone really thought that the end of this season was going to be it.
Yeah.
And so it does have this kind of nostalgia. You know, it's like, it's before the senioritis clicks in and you have no desire to be there anymore, but you know it's coming to an end and you really want to go to every gathering and every school event before you leave. I don't know. It has that sort of energy even in the episodes.
Yeah, in the episode for sure. I feel it.
It also feels like it's the writers taking care of the fans. Because, you know, sometimes when shows are wrapping up, they will do the like, we're going to reach for a cliffhanger to sort of force the network's hand and give us another season. That's all fine and well, but that's them looking out for a job for next year. Whereas on this one, it just felt like the writer's room going like, let's just blow it out. Let's just have all the care. Like in this episode, it's all of a sudden we have Clay, Julian, Nathan, and Chase in a scene. We have Haley. Like everyone was sort of crossing paths and getting to play together, which is so much fun. So it really kind of, in a way, I felt like, oh, they're taking care of the audience.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I loved that that sort of Central Perk scene for you guys. It felt so reminiscent of Friends to me. Starting with you and Nathan. It's in the Dixie
in the diner.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was great.
Right? Like Nathan and Clay are shooting the shit and they're joking about your taste in food. And, you know, you're just having this moment. And then Chase comes in and then Julian comes in. And I don't know. It was so nice. And I wish we'd gotten to see more of that with you all.
Do you remember that is the infamous tea scene that we got roasted for on Talk Soup?
The tea scene? What?
Because you were both having iced tea?
No, there are. Okay, first of all, there's 2 very notable aspects of the scene. One, I remember this as a product integration thing because we go way out of our way to say AT&T. It's sneaky though, right? So if you watch it again, because we have this whole weird buildup of about like 60 seconds of content of just Nathan and Clay talking about cell phone service and how it always drops and why you got to text. And then if you watch, the server comes up and Nathan goes, "Hey, T and T." So again, my memory told me, we were doing a product integration. And then I watched it last night and I realized, no, that's a shot at AT&T. And it's a weird Easter egg of a shot at AT&T. The other aspect is, so Talk Soup took that clip because if you watch it, she pours some iced tea in James's cup. Oh. And then when she goes to mine, here's the problem. When she goes to mine, no tea makes it into the cup. However, when they cut to the next shot, you do see tea going into the cup. I think Talk Soup cut it after just the first part because you can see her clearly not pouring and she's like in the shot not pouring. But then in the next angle, you do see tea going into the cup. So they were kind of cherry picking to make a meal of that.
Interesting. But you're definitely not bothered about it in the year 2025, Rob.
No, because again, like it's not like you had to wait. It's like he cuts to a different angle, tea's going in.
Yeah. Wait, Talk Soup roasted you guys about Dude, continuity?
It was one of the like highlight clips of the year was this iced tea, the phantom tea scene. Yeah, it's so odd. But
for God's
the
sake.
AT&T thing, there's two moments in this episode where I was like, did our boss have a bone to pick with AT&T? And the other one is this weird moment where it's, I believe it's Haley and Quinn, and you're sitting at the table and...
Oh, psych.
And you go, what should we do? Do you want to watch Psych? And Quinn goes, is it good? And you go, eh. And then there's like a 2 seconds of just silence. Dead air. And then you move on. Like it's a very weird shot at Psych. Did he have a beef?
Psych was a great show, by the way, which I watched like every episode of and loved. And they thought it was funny to make fun of Chad. So they made fun of him on their show. James, is it James? I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. I think it's James, the lead actor. There's two lead actors. He's one of them. The one who's not Dule Hill. And he would do this, like the brow furrow and like blah, 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 unless I'm Chad Michael Murray. And then he would do he would just like make fun of Chad. And it was kind of all in good fun. And it ended up on The Soup as well. They did a whole thing about Psych making fun of One Tree Hill. So I guess our boss just wanted to try and get back at them. But like, I don't know why they chose me because I loved that show. And I remember getting the material and being like, okay, like I'm really not sure how to make this work in the context of the scene because it doesn't make any sense. And the line is meh. So it's not like I can be like, yeah, it's good. And then we don't watch it. So it was not fun. I didn't enjoy it.
Also, it's weird to suddenly want to stick up for the person that you've gone out of your way to shit on. Like, as soon as Chad left, like 5 episodes later, there's a blatant dig at him that Paul's character delivered to Daniil. So it's just odd to suddenly be like, well, now I'm going to stick up for the person on our show that I openly talk shit about. It's like, Will Ferrell talk shit about you in Step Brothers. Don't see you taking any shots at Big Willie.
I think they had done some episode where they overtly said One Tree Hill, and it was no longer just about the beef between the joking beef between these two actors, which never even existed. I don't even know if they've ever met. I know nothing about this other than what showed up on my television screen. But I do think there was something in this a recent Psych episode where they said One Tree Hill, and it probably made our boss. It's just so dumb. It's so childish. It's like middle school. Like, can we just mind our own business and make our own show? Do we need to be doing this weird cross network?
But what it screams of is just like, are the people in charge of television shows high school students?
Yes.
Like I am always shocked when adults play into high school drama. I don't know. Don't you look around and go, aren't we too old for this? And the irony is that as cast members who were much younger than our boss and plenty of people on the writing staff, we all were like, are we doing this?
This is so weird.
Okay. But I like that you guys figured out a way to let it hang there and then move on because you made it as irrelevant to the plot as it was. And
I guess that was
works.
it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do exactly what's on the page so you can see how stupid this is.
Well, and it also sort of works because Haley's clearly bored. And you know when you have that thing, you're bored or you're housebound because you're sick or something, and you're like, ugh, I want to do anything but this, and I also don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, do I want a snack? No. I'm kind of hungry though. Do I want to watch a movie? No. I don't really want to scroll either. Like it plays that way. And so I think in the context of you know, the dirty trick runner through the whole episode, it works because Haley's bored and she's trying to have a good time.
Haley's bored and she's trying to figure out what to do. And she sure does.
Yeah.
That was a great runner.
It's so cute. And I love, you know, it harkens back to what I think the ladies did so well in the last episode. The buttons would come back around, you know, a quarter of the way through the episode, halfway through the episode later. And to have every single person who came in the house have the same reaction and use the same term made the runner of the joke have a nice little button on it. I liked it.
Yeah. Did you notice high heels again? Haley in her high heels.
We are all in like, and they're not just heels, they're like platforms.
Yeah, they were like little peep toe, like pumps. As far as I saw anyway, but I don't remember.
With a platform under your toes and you are 9 months pregnant.
Right. Yeah. And these little peep toe pin and the jeans are like, what is it called? You know, when the skirt is like it's a pin. What's it called? Tapered.
They're skinny jeans, aren't they?
Skinny jeans. Yeah. Tapered. Yeah. There's a word with pin that I can't think of it. But anyway, yeah, it's just so silly. And she's coming in the room like, send me to the hospital in my high heels. And then Quinn's trying to stuff her in the trunk of the Corvette. I mean, it was very funny. I liked the whole setup, but the heels have got to go.
The infamous Toaster Strudel song.
Oh, yes.
We got to talk about it because
How much money did Toaster Strudel pay our show that clearly you know Chantel got none of, but had to do the on-camera commercial?
Well, I don't know if that was the actual Toaster Strudel jingle.
No, she made that up.
But Toaster Strudels that's a legit product, obviously.
Yes, but she also, if you clocked it in the episode, couldn't say Toaster Strudel. Her song was Toaster Pastry.
Yes.
And every single person says Toaster Pastry until, now I can't remember who it was. If it was Levin or if it was Austin in the Brooke, Julian, and Chloe scene, when Chloe's making one at our house, someone says Toaster Strudel. And I went,
yes.
Oh. And it must we must have missed it on the day and nobody caught it. I think even Levin says Toaster Pastry and Austin must have ad-libbed something about a Toaster Strudel being delicious.
Yeah.
And it made it in because they didn't have a Toaster Pastry for him. I don't know. The whole thing felt really bizarre.
Well, you're right, though, because in my notes, I wrote, the infamous Toaster Strudel song. But then I went back and I was like, no, everyone's saying pastry. Did I misremember this?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the end of the episode, you're right, that scene where someone said Toaster Strudel. And I was like, no, it's freaking Toaster Strudels. I can say behind the scenes, that song was the bane of Chantel's existence.
Yes. Well, of
because
course.
She had to do it for an entire episode. Then, of course, it was like, people like at conventions would be like, sing the Toaster Pastry song, you know.
God.
And she had to just make that up. She's like, I don't know how to write music. I don't know what this is supposed to sound like. What do I do?
Wait, she had to make that up?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Really? That wasn't scripted?
My memory of it is her talking to me about having to make that up and trying to figure out what the hell to sing.
If she ad-libbed that, she did an incredible job.
They would have had to write the words for her though and be like, do something like this. So she had to like make up a melody.
Correct. That's what I mean.
I would be pissed.
Sorry, I didn't mean to imply the words. Yeah, the melody, she had to just figure out how to, like there were words on a page. She was like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this?
But are we sure every time she sang the jingle, she didn't say strudel? Because one of the rhymes is a tasty doodle.
Doodle? Toaster pastry, you taste so good and yummy. Toaster pastry, get inside my tummy. Dun, 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 dun. That's a little
It's something about
doodle strudel.
the frosting doodle.
Yeah.
And then that circles back with strudel.
I wonder if this is going to be the episode where everyone at home is like, okay, it's official. Send these 3 to take a nap.
Yep.
They're done. They're cooked. Goodbye.
I listened for 30 minutes and all they talked about was bees and strudels. What happened to this podcast?
Not for nothing. A honey strudel I would not say no to.
I'd party with that.
Well, here's what I will say. I thought that a lot of this, referring to what we were talking about earlier, there's a sweetness and a nostalgia, even some of what's very stupid, which clearly got us landed. I'm surprised this whole episode wasn't just an entire episode of Talk Soup, but I love Haley's runner, and I do really love the paint storyline for Brooke and Julian.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we were in the paint store, I literally went, oh, Soft Duckling is coming. Like I remembered how sweet that felt. And I remembered, thinking about exactly that moment for friends of ours. I mean, I think at this point, Hilarie was one of our only friends who'd had a kid. You were about to have a kid. And I think about now what it's been like to help so many people put kids' rooms together. And there's something so universally precious about it. And I like that it offered this sort of nesting energy for Brooke and Julian, but Brooke in particular. And then Chloe's in the bed that used to be Peyton's bed. And then it was Sam's bed. And now this girl who is theoretically going to give this couple this baby is in this space. And you kind of get to track this evolution. And even Brooke bringing up, I have this friend Peyton who used to have a black bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then that goes up on the wall. And it's like, I don't know. I thought it was a great way to sort of represent if we are really ending the show, if season 8 is going to be it, like, look at this life we've lived with all these people. And it was cool to see it in those sort of quiet, reflective moments. I liked that.
Can I ask a question? I want to jump around a little bit here time-wise, but do I recall correctly? And if by some chance there's a listener who hasn't watched any future episodes, just turn it down for like 30 seconds. You guys, it's twins, right?
We don't get the baby.
Holy shit, I just spoiled it for myself. Okay, sorry. Let's go back to the conversation.
I'm so sorry.
Well, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. I shouldn't have asked the question. This is what I get. Okay,
it's
well,
okay.
Shake it off. Shake it off. I'm so disappointed now. Oh.
And you know what it kind of is when you think about it? It's this really nice buildup that's been happening. And we have that. You, me, and Chantel have so much fun with Jackson. In the next episode, we have our saltine challenge, like waiting for all these women to have all these babies. It's so good. And then you get the highlight and the crash. And so it's weird because in a way, obviously I know what's coming. It was a big storyline for us, but it's weird to watch it and be like, oh man, we really did have this sort of pure excitement. And I like that it wasn't overdone. And I like that we were really, even though some of it feels a little like whitewash prescriptive, in terms of the adoption storyline to me, I like that most of it feels a little complicated and bittersweet, and you don't always say the right thing, and it's nerve-wracking, and, what does a young girl do if she finds herself pregnant in this situation? What does someone struggling with infertility do? Like, I think most of it is so good. And then, I remember getting the script for the next episode and just being like, of course, we're going to just pull the rug out from under people. And
I'm not even just devastated. I'm now pre-devastated.
Sorry.
This is a hard way to start a Wednesday.
You should just watch it tonight and get it over with. Write your notes and then be done.
Did anyone notice when he's handing back the tests, there's a close-up insert shot of the first tests going down on a desk, and the student's name is Les Butler.
No.
our editor
I
/ director
didn't
of this
see
episode.
that.
He threw a little Easter egg in there for himself.
That's cute.
I love
And then
that.
the next batch of tests go down, and it's to, I forget, what's Quentin's character's name?
Oh no, I've forgotten because Quentin is such a memorable guy.
Yeah. Well, to his character, and the note is, his letter grade is D.
D.
And then he finishes Spickable. Despicable.
Tommy.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Kellerman,
Despicable.
listen, that guy's a real turd in the punch bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I did like this storyline. I like that they're drawing it out a little, keeping it interesting. I feel like, is this the storyline that leads Nathan to be kidnapped by the Serbian mafia?
No.
It's not? Okay.
Isn't that in season 9?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I believe this is the story that gets us to the scene on the bridge where Clay goes all John Cena and top ropes Kellerman into the river.
Jeez. Wow, there's so much coming up that I did not. I was pregnant, y'all. I was so checked out. I did not know what was happening on the show at this point.
It's okay. That feels fair.
I was about to
Yeah.
pop.
I knew there were a few sort of indicators about what was coming. I had forgotten where Ian Kellerman's storyline was going to go.
Oh,
And when Haley and Quinn are sitting talking, about all this nostalgia, and then it's like, and can you believe they haven't found the car? I was like, this is a weird left turn.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, right.
Yeah.
It's the exposition she has to give,
Yeah.
which obviously this is the place for it to go because they're reflecting on parenthood and what's coming. But it felt like a real, it just felt like a device, not like a real shift in the conversation between these two sisters. And then I was like, right, the Wagoneer. We had to repeat the Wagoneer because Nathan's going to go in the garage. Got it.
Yeah.
yeah, because in real life, you would just say, can you believe they haven't found the person who did that?
Mm-hmm.
But she had to go, can you believe they haven't found the 1980 to 1990 Wagoneer with the damaged front end?
Burgundy, actually at the time listed as oxblood red.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was an empty bottle of liquor in that car. You know,
Perhaps it was bourbon, because a hit and run driver really seems like a bourbon drinker, don't they? Like, it's so silly.
I was wondering why that was in the flashback, like in the last week or last time, previously
Yes.
on One Tree
Yeah.
Hill, and they were showing that. I was like, this is such a random thing for them to show. Why are they showing this clip? Because there's nothing in the episode about you saving anybody's life or anything else, and it was all for that.
It was for that.
It was also a bit of a hat on a hat for Nathan to find the empty liquor bottle in the car. Because it's like, he already hit and run and almost killed people. Like, it's bad enough. I mean, and we obviously see he has an alcohol problem. I mean, the real takeaway is that this guy he's a very messy person.
Yes.
He hasn't cleaned his car in weeks, guys.
I didn't need anything more than just the shot in the window. You could see the liquor bottle like peeking out from the seat. It's fine. Like that
part.
already is more than enough.
Yeah.
But the fact that he has to open the door and pull out and hold the liquor bottle in front of the camera, it's just so silly.
For a neat, tidy insert. And by the
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
and perhaps this comes from then having gone to do half a decade of a police show. I'm like, don't touch the evidence. Don't put
That's
your
what I
bare
was
finger.
thinking.
You just put your fingerprints all over the
Yeah.
car.
On
You
the
put your
door.
fingerprints all over the bottle.
Bottle. So stupid.
You are literally contaminating our crime scene, sir. And furthermore, what ding dong who's hit and run? I mean, I get that you're putting the car in the garage to hide it from view, but you're not going to like put a car cover over it in the garage for plausible deniability for, I don't know, anyone who might walk through your house. You live with your parents. Like, you don't think your parents are going to notice the mangled vintage SUV next to the rear door of your home? The whole thing was just silly to me.
Also, where's the bright green Porsche?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That would be in the garage.
Yeah.
Silly. Silliness. Well, there's plenty other great things. You know what else was silly was Millie in that chicken costume.
Oh.
And let me tell
so
you,
good.
she pulled it off. That was
Right?
incredible.
Yes.
I mean, that takes a lot of gumption to be able to stand there in a chicken outfit and say that, like, and just, you know what? I'm just going to say the things that I'm going to say, regardless of what I look like right now. And people will take me seriously because of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's a big gamble. I loved her for it.
Yeah, it was so great. And it was very cool too. I loved Lisa's choice because you've seen the Malf and Millie sort of back and forth about the issue at the apartment. And she's made the decision that she's not going to do this. She's not going to try to push any buttons. And then you watch her as she's reading, her little fact sheet. And she has that moment where she goes, I don't know, I couldn't read it because it was all in caps. And it just like, there's something about seeing it right in front of her face. She chooses for that to be the absurdity that hits her. And when she looks up, I was like, there she goes.
Yeah.
Like I knew the rant was coming and I was so excited about it. And it was such a great way to differentiate the conversation at home and then the inspiration for that gumption to come out of her under that street sign. She's just so fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. My note was Lisa should be in a chicken costume every week.
Lisa just needs a show.
Yeah,
she does.
I want to watch her do everything. And I loved too. It's so much fun, the misdirect, especially because Alex has been in our world now for 2 seasons. When the guy comes up to the girls at the bar and she's like, oh yeah, it's me. Like, I'm used to this. And he's like, you're the angry chicken lady.
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing is so good.
So good. Speaking of Jana at the bar, do we know that Jana knows Ian Kellerman? Or not Jana, whatever, Alex.
I mean, no, up until this very moment.
Okay, there was no other clue that I missed. That was the first time. It's just, that was another that felt a little too far-fetched for me. Like we really, everyone in town knows everyone else to this degree. Come on.
And it was good at least to have her say to Chase, just a guy I met.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Alex Dupre is going to hook up with a college student?
Exactly. Like, let's not forget for a moment, he hasn't signed any big deals.
Yeah.
He's like a 20-year-old kid.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's weird that like some movie star would be like, oh my gosh, he has a great fastball.
And the implication is they've already hung out together before. Like she's already slept with him because that's what he's texting her.
He's basically like, come over for round 2. And here's what's crazy. And Rob, we obviously haven't done as much of it since you joined us on the show, but there were many a story in the first seasons of Drama Queens for Joy and Hilarie and myself to talk about. Many a dumb decision we made in our early 20s, partially because we were trapped in a town as young girls on TV, and the only people there were either college students or like retired dads in their 60s looking for their third wife. And we've joked about, how small our dating pool was. And so literally, I'm like, this is the fantasy of an older guy to be like, yeah, the movie star is totally going to want to hook up with the young baseball stud. I'm like, the last thing a girl in her mid-20s who is famous wants to do is hook up with the guy from UNCW. I'm sorry. I don't care how good looking you are. I don't care. Like, we're just never going to do it.
Yeah.
And it was so funny to me to be like, wow, they don't get it.
Yeah. And it would be odd if it was, any other character would make more sense, because to a normal person, there's a shot of big things to come for this guy. So it's like, I could be a part of a journey of maybe being famous and rich.
Yeah.
You can't pick the one person in town who's famous and rich, to be like, but what if he makes it? It's like, you've already made it. What are you talking?
Yeah.
What is the appeal?
Yeah, I will say I loved seeing a softer, saner side of Alex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When she gets to sort of just stay sort of at a lower gear and just be sincere. Like that whole thing with Chase, with the glasses, that was funny.
Yeah.
I know it's the times and it's our boss, but like I don't love how fast and loose everyone is with throwing the sex tape in her face. Like Chase has that line of like,
Yeah.
everyone can see your vajayjay on a sex tape, but you're worried about glasses. It's like, bro, come on, man. But whatever, that aside.
Yeah, he could have just said, you made a sex tape and you're worried about glasses or whatever. Like,
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
This is like the third time he's just
really,
casually.
we need to specifically talk about her vagina. Can we move on?
Yeah, like maybe let's not.
Yes, it was very heavy-handed, but seeing her like this version of herself with Chase, it makes it really easy to root for her.
Yeah. And one of the things I really liked as well is rather than do what we've seen so many of you guys do who are musical on the show and shock us all with a beautiful song, I actually love that they wrote it for her to be sitting and listening and questioning, is it good enough? Especially because her voice is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's nice, to your point, Rob, you're making me realize like, oh, that's exactly what a lot of this episode is. It's a quiet kind of reflection for Alex. And that's really refreshing to see because yes, Jana can make anything work. And yes, she's so talented, particularly with the over-the-top comedy stuff. But it's really nice to see this quiet because then at the end, it's just something that kind of carries through and she doesn't announce anything to anyone. You watch her just think about it quietly and try to make different choices. And that's really cool.
Speaking of quiet moments, did anyone else notice at the end of the diner scene, Nathan and Chase have taken off.
Oh, yeah.
And as we say goodbye, there's just a 2-shot of Julian and Clay sitting next to each other. I didn't remember this until watching it back.
It's so
but go
funny.
ahead and watch that back because there's a very charged moment of silence where everyone leaves the table and we both look at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have some sort of thinking that goes on, and then we quickly look away.
Yeah.
And it made me laugh so hard because I had forgotten we did this, but we 100% were like, let's just add a weird layer of like, there's something between us and let's just not address it, and Les liked it and kept it in. But I immediately laughed because I was like, damn it, when we had Austin on the show, I was joking about the fan fiction people should write about Clay and Julian. And I was like, holy shit, this is it. This is the seed.
I missed it. I have to go back and watch.
You guys are so funny in that moment. But what really set it up for me to make that smash is that as it's you two and then Chase and then Julian comes in and the 4 boys are mashed into this very small little booth. They leave. But before they have, as everyone's talking about what they want to order, you say something about mashed potato. Nathan says something about mashed potatoes and Julian's like, well, yeah, I want mashed potatoes. And you guys look at each other like, yes, because you just said that.
Yeah.
And now it's this beat of like the awkwardness I read was a little bit of like, wow, we're sitting really close to each other. And also like, we both do want mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And it's just great. It's like, is it?
What is this feeling?
Is it sexy? What is this feeling?
I'm watching this scene. I felt like it was very apparent to me that the writer's room had really come to see who I was, like Rob, not Clay, and just start leaning into that for the character.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it starts to get weird and silly, and Clay is like really leaning into it. Like that whole thing about, it's hard to say no when someone calls you and asks you to smuggle like 5 kilos. Yeah. and then I go on and everyone's like, okay. And then I lean in and I'm like, in your butt.
Right. Like just the one last thing. Even James kind of broke a little on that. It was so good.
We had so much fun doing that. But to me, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. They're kind of letting
This is what we've been waiting
Rob do
for.
Rob.
Because remember how long it was like, oh my God, is this guy ever going to be able to, like they bring in a comic genius and you're just going to load him up with all of this drama nonstop, like crazy ghosts and depression and psycho stalkers and like, good grief, let this man laugh.
Yeah.
So glad.
But seriously, go back and watch the end of this scene. And I'm telling you, because I remember us deliberately doing it, thinking it was funny.
It's
and
so
also it's one of
good.
those things where it was like, dude, there's no way in hell this is going to make it, but let's just do one like this. Yes. And it made it. So go back and watch, and you will, now that you're looking for it, it is clear as day that there's an untold story happening.
This is the stuff I love about acting. This is the play that, we show up, we get paid to show up and say our lines, but it's the play and all the in between that really is what makes it so fun. When all the layers you get to create that sometimes people catch and they like or don't like, and then sometimes they don't catch it, and it just floats right on in.
I love it.
How about Chloe? Did anyone else get confused that she was like, she's a boundaryless cat burglar?
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Brooke and Julian come home and she's just sitting on the counter hanging out. Mm-hmm. And to Brooke and Julian's credit, because obviously they're in a position where they need to not rock the boat with her, they're cool about it.
And she's on Brooke's bed, hanging out, eating yogurt or whatever.
So she showed up, she knocked, and she just thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and look for a hide a key. It was wild to me.
It was very Sam energy to me. Like maybe they were trying to recreate that vibe of Samantha. It did feel a bit out of place. Like it hadn't been earned yet.
And you know what would have been such an easy fix is if we'd come in and she's making a snack and then it's like, but why are you here? And she said, oh, right. I came to tell you guys something and I have to pee every 5 minutes. I found your hide a key. You know, you would have been like, oh, okay. Yeah. Pregnant women do have to pee all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like if there'd been some version of,
or if she'd been coming out of the bathroom instead of making a sandwich, even that's just a little bit like, oh, okay, it's understandable. Yes, that's fine. But going in my fridge, like, I know you're going to give me your baby, but we haven't established these, but she's 19. So I don't know, maybe kids assume things.
Yeah, I would have appreciated them grounding it for her a little more than just being like, we've made Chantel eat 8 toaster pastries today, and we'd also like someone else to want one. Like, for what?
Well, and it was odd when we cut to later in the day and she's laying on the bed in the guest room.
Yeah.
I went, oh, are we going to find out she's living out of her car?
Yeah, like, is she homeless like Sam?
Because then that sort of makes more sense that she's just showing up and lingering. Yeah. So, but that doesn't seem like that's where it's going. I did like the way that you played the scene, Soph, of going like, as she's just eating a plate of Oreos. In fact, she's not even eating the cookie. She's just eating the all fake ingredient frosting that you were like, say, would you like some fruit with that frosting? Yeah. Maybe a vegetable or two. It's like, she's trying so hard to be like, how about one nutrient? Can we get one nutrient in there?
Just some sort of antioxidant for you and the baby.
So sweet.
It's really, it's cool. And I like though that they let us, or at least they gave us space. And I thought Les did really well with it. Have discomfort and awkwardness because we don't know each other, and then have these moments of ease and humor and figuring each other out slowly. And then, you know, even the screw ups of, it would really help if we knew. And then of course she doesn't want to know. Of course, Brooke's not thinking about this because she's so excited about this other part. And, you know, Chloe hasn't communicated that and then has to. And the sort of fits and starts of it, I thought they were just nice to play. I'm glad we didn't do some totally Pollyanna-ish version of it.
Yeah.
And I think Levin is so, she's so grounded in, you know, the moments and the emotion. She doesn't have to do a lot to communicate a lot. Mm-hmm. And I liked that we were communicating, albeit awkwardly, not with what we were saying, but with what we were trying to say. I always think that's the mark of good writing, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Chuck and Chase real quick.
Yeah, I wanted to pivot there too, because that was my favorite, besides Mouth and Millie. But
also Millie saying, how clucked up is that as her button?
So good.
I don't know how that didn't catch on because that was great. But Chuck and Chase, it was also sweet. There's also some funny elements to it. One, I thought Chase is having him standing with, Chuck has his back to the wall, meaning if he hits the ball, he's hitting it at a room full of customers.
And glass.
But then I thought, how funny if he did that because he knows that this kid cannot hit a ball to save his life.
Yeah.
And then later, and also like total jerk move laughing. Like when a kid gets vulnerable, you got to button that shit up, you know? But I don't know if you noticed this. So Chase later goes to Chuck's house to apologize. He goes to the window.
I hated this.
And he knocks. It gets weirder. I have a different layer for you. So it is weird that he knocks and you hear Chuck go away, Mr. Mihal. I told you to leave me alone. So Chuck is clearly dealing with some sort of pervert predator. But here's where it got even weirder. I rewound it. And you know how, I don't know if I watch this on my computer. If you rewind it on Apple TV, it'll do 10 seconds of subtitles for you. So when I rewound it, when he clearly says, go away, Mr. Mihal, the subtitle is go away, Mr. Kowalski.
What?
As in like Pete, the only Kowalski we know on the show is obviously our
It's
DP, who we all love.
DP.
Yeah, who everybody loves to death.
Which made me wonder if like in the original script it was Kowalski and then Pete or someone was like, hey, no.
No.
I don't want
And
my
they
name
changed
attached
it,
to that.
but the subtitles were off of the script or something. But if you go back and do that,
That's horrendous.
it's not even like they were listening and like, oh, it sounds like this. No, it's Mihal, but the subtitle says go away, Mr. Kowalski.
Oh my God.
No.
That's such a frat boy thing that the crew would do that a lot it was always fun, like putting Les Butler's name on the homework sheet. They would use crew members' names all the time as parts of, posters that were going up or whatever, a character's name, just to be fun because it's a small, friendly community in sweet ways. And that totally sounds like something somebody wrote as a joke and then didn't end up correcting it later.
I absolutely hate that.
That sucks.
That was
But
just
also just gross. Like, why is that in the show?
it's as if the kid doesn't have it bad enough.
My note for that is I was like, first of all, we have a grown man traipsing down the side of a house in the dark to knock on a child's window, which, yes, it's Chase, but it's weird enough.
Yeah.
And then the kid's response is to assume it's a different creepy grown man. And I'm like, why are we making a joke out of like, what is that?
Also, it's extra it's extra shoe leather we didn't need because Chase then immediately goes to the front door to meet Chuck. So it's like, why would you go to his window in the first place? The only reason you go to someone's window is if you don't want their parents to know.
Correct.
So that was all kinds of weird. Their story got better though when they went to the park. He puts on the glasses.
The park was sweet.
And he drills that ball.
Oh, so great. Line drive right into Chase's stomach.
He hits a line drive into Chase's sternum. And by the way, Steven, who's great with physical comedy, did that perfect getting hit jump. And then I love as he's getting up kind of wheezing, he's like, yeah, you need glasses.
Yeah.
But was that CGI? Because there's no way.
I don't know. I'm sure it had to be.
It had to be. It was too perfect.
Well, that was a stunt setup. Because that was clearly, when you see Chase fall, it's from so far back, it's over Chuck's shoulder. Like that had to be a stunt person who literally threw their body to the ground. So I wonder if they hid like a ball launcher,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
in front of, like they got Chuck's shoulder in, but they actually had a ball launcher so they knew it would hit in the right spot.
And maybe Steven was wearing a pad.
See, that makes sense. Because if you also watch it back, because again, this is one of those ones I went back to like 4 times.
I love that you do that.
They do 3 different shots. They go like 50-50, and then they go like at Chase, and then they cut to a third one. So so actually you're probably right. They probably totally cheated it, but that's why they had those first 2 in to be like, it's these 2, and then it's not the kid.
It looked great.
It looked so good.
So for those of you who don't know, Les Butler was one of our editors for a very long time. And so he really is skilled at, this was a great example of a way that a great editor can make a shot work. Mm-hmm. You just line up a few different shots, but the timing down to the millisecond of making it all move smoothly enough that unless you're looking for it, it just looks perfectly seamless.
Yeah.
It's a great example of that. What a good editor can do. But I loved this storyline. I'm so glad that we're continuing with Chase showing up for Chuck. I'm really invested in Chuck's well-being.
Yeah.
Like I really want to see him win. I just care. I love this kid now.
Yeah. And it's really, there's something to it. We're not saying it, but even the idea that this little boy has gone this long, clearly with a sight problem and no one's identified it. it's just continuing to reinforce the truth that if you invest in kids, they really get to flourish. And it's nice to have that be in the mix of the often sort of, dramatic car crash, sexy love story world of a TV show. It's nice to have this other thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it works too. It still works with the storyline of investing in people that are younger than you, which we've done on our show consistently throughout. You with Sam and Haley with Quentin. I feel like there's always these younger mentor moments. So I love seeing that Chase is doing that now. And them laughing at him when he put his glasses on. I agree with you, Rob, but I don't know if you noticed this. When Chuck put the glasses on, he turned around and then he made a face, like he smiled really goofy. And that's, to me, what I was like, I thought they were laughing because he was making fun of himself, like making a goofy face and sort of giving them permission to laugh. So anyway, that worked well for me, that to make them not just look like dicks that were just laughing at a kid they had only moments ago told they weren't going to laugh at.
It was a really good choice, either by Les or the prop department or them together, to put Chuck in a very exaggerated, like almost 1950s cat eye adjacent pair of glasses. It added to the humor in a way.
It did.
If they'd given him like a cool Clark Kent pair of frames, it wouldn't have worked the same. And so, Michael May being such a good sport, playing Chuck and leaning into his own physical comedy and making the face and the glasses being so like 1950s, lady and the boys, it just made for a lot of fun.
Very cute.
And it also helps land the joke about why Alex would be insecure about people seeing her in them. But then it begs the question, like, you're an adult. Why wouldn't you just go buy a pair that you look good in? But regardless, it was very funny on Michael May. Honorable mentions. What do we got?
Yeah.
Chicken suit.
Yeah. Chicken suit all day.
I'm going to go the runner of Haley auditioning everyone she knows for her labor driver.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was great.
Yeah. I liked the reaction when she tries to pull it over on Clay and Nathan, and y'all are already wise.
Just go ahead and force those knees together, Hales.
Yeah.
That's what Clay says, something to that effect.
Oh yeah, I remember. That was fun to shoot. And you losing the keys down the AC vent.
It was a really fun day.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. What's our listener question?
Brenda asks, this question is for Joy. Did you film all the way up to having your daughter? Whose idea was it to put you in heels while filming in your third trimester, especially when Haley is home in her own house? Girl,
Brenda,
we have been talking about this for 2 weeks.
You're a girl after my own heart, let me tell you. I know. Can you imagine what woman in her right mind walks around in heels in her home in her third trimester? I would like to meet that woman. So yes, I filmed all the way up to having my daughter. I did. And it's one of the reasons why my storyline became very sporadic and unrelated to many other storylines, because they weren't sure at what moment I might have to disappear and go have a baby and be gone for 2 weeks. So we just episode by episode kept filming, and Maria was 2 weeks late actually. So kind of threw everything.
Buddy, did you only take 2 weeks off?
Yeah.
Holy cow. That's bonkers, man.
Yeah, it was wild.
Wow, you are a soldier. I did not realize that was all the time you took after creating and delivering a human to this
America.
world. Yeah, right. She'll walk it off.
Where
She'll
we
be
have
fine.
no paid leave, and 2 weeks you're told is a luxury. Like, absolutely insane.
It's bonkers.
I remember us filming a scene at the hospital later after I'd had my daughter. And it was, I think, like kind of right after I came back, and I was still in pain. And I remember asking, I started to walk, and it was when we filmed at the hospital, we had this, area. So we parked our trailers, and then there was this massive area that felt like an acre maybe of just rocks. And they were all these little, it wasn't tiny gravel rocks. They were like,
they were like big river rock pebbles.
Clunky rocks. Yeah. That you had to walk across all the way up to get to the hospital doors where then all of the filming would be. And I started to walk, and I was just like, my body just hurt. I mean, I had a baby. So I had asked them, I was like, we're at a hospital. Is there like a wheelchair in there? Could I just like get a lift, please? Just like a little lift over to set. And I remember they brought one out, and I got the producers came to me and they were like, we heard you like needed a wheelchair to set. Like, that seems really dramatic. Are you okay?
The all male producing team, by the way. Yeah.
I was just like, yep, just fine. Just, just had a little baby. That's all. Just needed a little extra.
You're like, I just actually have a football size open wound inside my abdomen, but thank you so much for asking.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry to be over dramatic. I'm so sorry to have
They're like,
inconvenienced
we
you.
heard you're being hysterical. Would you like 2 Tylenol?
It just took you so long with the wheelchair over the rocks, Yeah, it did. We had to go slow because of all the, rocks. But we made it.
We're here. Oh, man.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. America. So anyway, Brenda, thanks for your question. We'll have lots more of those pregnancy stories, I'm sure, as the baby comes along in the episode. Yeah.
Also, for anyone else who, like the three of us, thinks a 2-week maximum is insane, you should probably follow Paid Leave for All. They're a great nonpartisan organization trying to advocate for, actual parental leave in this country.
That.
Yeah, pretty great.
Good plug.
Good
plug.
You can come for the drama, and you can stay for the wonderful community organizing.
Yes.
Now, who's getting the wheel?
Most likely to cry during a rom-com.
I will if it's a good one.
Julian.
Oh, yeah. Julian.
Yes.
Julian and Skills.
Oh, my God.
Skills. Yeah. How about in real life?
I mean, Soph, if it's a good one, I'll cry. But I don't know. Rom-coms seem to be kind of a dime a dozen now. I'm in a lot of them. I shouldn't say that.
Name names, Joy. Name names.
Yeah, but if it's a real, I love those old 90s ones, like Lawrence Kasdan and like the, Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, Sandra Bullock. Oh, yes. Love those old ones. Those ones always get me.
Yeah, those get me. And I'm definitely a crier. I love it.
All right, gang. Come back.
Okey-dokey.
Join us next week. We got season 8, episode 18 with a much better title, Quiet Little Voices.
See you later. Hey, thanks for listening.
Don't forget to leave us a review. You can also follow us on Instagram at DramaQueensOTH.
Or email us at dramaqueens@iHeartRadio.com. See you next time.
We're all about that high school drama girl, all about them high school queens. We'll take you for a ride in our comic girl, cheering for the right team. Drama queens, smart girl, rough girl, fashion but you're tough girl. You could sit with us, girl. Drama queens, drama queens, drama queens, drama queens, drama queens.